All right, I'm joined with Sean Miron. Did I pronounce it right?
Miron, but we're gonna go with
Miron.
it.
Okay,
All
see,
good.
this is why I got to ask beforehand. I'm not very professional. I do these interviews. Sean is helping to put together Goliath Games that I'm competing in about a week. A week as of recording, a week and a day
Yep,
of
week tomorrow.
when we record this. So my prep has gone pretty good, as people have seen on here. But Sean, tell me how has prep gone for you getting the competition ready while also juggling your own prep for competing?
It has been horrific, if I'm being honest. So my prep for the show has been brutal because Goliath Games was always unsanctioned and hosted through some buddies of mine.
Mm.
And this year, it's kind of been me bringing it to Cork. So it's been a lot, as this is my first official competition that kind of I've hosted with them,
Mhm.
and it's been a lot of not knowing what's going on every day and slowly being told kind of how it's supposed to be run. So it's been crazy.
Trying to juggle a new, like, getting it with a federation versus doing it unsanctioned, where there's probably a little bit more freedom, I would guess.
100%. You know, we've been doing it the last 2 years with 20 athletes. I compete in it, and this year I've taken the reins with the guys and fully just kind of immersed ourselves in it. But just getting the sponsors, dealing with 60 plus athletes messaging me daily, it's been a lot.
And so this year for the competition, we have obviously the double dumbbell medley, which you were kind enough to remind me that the last set of dumbbells is press away, which I had the rules in front of me, didn't read fully, so that's my fault. We have the farmers, the yoke, the sandbag to sled, and the deadlift for reps. When putting together the show, was the choice of events completely on you? Was that done by committee, or did Strongman Corp Canada have some kind of say in what you had to have?
So I know Strongman Corp did not like the year before we had done yoke pressing.
Mm,
So I know they didn't want that, but it was kind of just up to us. Personally, I wanted the double dumbbell because it was a little different, but it was accessible for every single person at any gym.
right. Yeah.
And our show is very much geared to the new generation and people trying strongman. So
Mm,
we kept it kind of simple with our event choice. So yoke, farmers, deadlift, we wanted everybody to be able to do our events.
right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
Okay.
That is kind of my thing.
So we're in the home stretch now. Is there still, like, is this hectic right at the end, or do you feel ready now with about a week to go?
So it's been kind of, we'll say awkward because we're kind of ready, but I'm waiting on my shirt guy. I was waiting on my trophy guy. I'm ready to go, but I need all these other moving parts to come to me.
Mhm.
Now, as well as I have a lot of athletes reaching out saying, hey, we want to compete now. And I can't get them shirts. I can't get them anything. And I'm having to turn people away because it's been tough.
Mhm. So, how many athletes do you have right now? Do you know?
So I believe we have around 55 competitors.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
a good turnout for a first sanctioned show, really.
Yeah, for our first year, I'm really happy, and a lot of them are actually from the gym we're hosting it at. So to see, I would say 40% of it to be brand new faces,
Mm.
very excited about that.
Well, that's good because that kind of goes to what Strongman Corp Canada has been trying to do and to grow the sport in Canada and in each individual province. So to have, I mean, the shows that I've been at, there have been plenty of athletes. I was just at Weight Pit last weekend, refing there where you were competing. I don't
Yep.
know how many they had officially competing, but I know I was refing the open guys and they had 14 athletes. And I think the U120s had about the same. So between those two weight groups, there was already 30 guys close to. So to see that kind of
Yeah.
turnout this early in the season is a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, we had 16 guys in my class,
So
and
there you go.
that's the most I've seen other than nationals.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been crazy. I mean, even our show, we have 11 105s, and your class is slowly getting bigger. The athletes posted there is more 120s.
Getting bigger.
Yeah.
Sean, I was looking forward to an easier day of not having that many faces up in my business, but it's getting bigger now. Terrific.
Yeah, as well as there's a few 105s that have already told me that they're not
They're
making
not
weight.
going to make
So
105.
yeah,
I
so
know
we're gonna
that
have a few
struggle.
105s with you.
I was going to say, I know this is actually the first year, touch wood, that I'm not going to have to cut to get into 120 because usually I hover. What is 120 is 264 in pounds. I'm usually around 268, 269, but I did a cut early on and got down to under 250, which was a little detrimental to my training. So I've managed to come back up. We brought my calories back up to maintenance. So the timing has actually worked out pretty well that I started to put the weight back on as my training was getting heavier, and then going into the week of deload, I'm going to be at my heaviest, but I still shouldn't have to cut. But you know what? Honestly, I'm okay with more guys in the division because, like you, I like a competition. I like,
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of, and I've said this on my channel before, and I've said this on my other videos where I've podiumed out of a group of three, and it's like, yeah, it's a second place or a third place finish, but like, is it really? Like, and that's just me being hard on myself. So I hold more stock, obviously, in a higher finish in a bigger group because, there's just that many more points to go around. There's that many more people that can throw things off. So I'm totally okay if the 120s are growing ahead of the competition.
Yeah, there's gonna be a few of you. I won't lie. I think we're gonna look around 12 120s.
So in terms of provincial qualifiers, then how many does that leave the group?
So I would have to look through my notes, but of course the original three are always there.
Mm,
But I'm gonna go with I think it'll be roughly the top half that
okay,
will end up going through to provincials.
perfect.
Again, I'll have to look through my notes as this is my first year. It's been a lot of note taking and a lot of looking back at them. but
Absolutely.
yeah, I think roughly you're looking at the top half going.
Okay.
So it'll be just stay consistent and you're gonna most likely go through.
See, that's just my goal is just get my qualifier now is my plan, and then focus on the rest of the season as it comes. And if there's more people
Yeah.
and there's more qualifying spots, cool. I'm happy with that. So, just in terms of planning the show out, has there been anybody from Strongman Corp that you've been working with to get it prepped, or are they kind of like, we're here for advice, but it's really on you?
It's been on us.
Okay.
So the only thing that we've really had to deal with, we dealt with a bit of a date thing just because there's other shows, of course.
Yeah.
And other than that, we just had to get our weights approved.
Hmm.
So since our weights have been approved and we will have a rep at the event who's actually competing,
Mm.
but having a rep there to make sure that what we do kind of is in line with Corp, we've been able to have the freedom to do whatever we need to do.
Excellent. Is
Yeah,
there
it's
anything
been
else
good.
you? What's that? Sorry.
No, I was saying, so it's been good that way. The main issue, I will say, it's going to be a day of thing. The venue we have has been so amazing, but they're not ready for what's coming. 100%. We're going to be doing half in, half out if I can,
Mm.
because they're not. Uh, they don't understand how big this is going to be in their facility.
Right.
So that's been our one thing. I wasn't expecting as many athletes.
Hmm.
So we have been hit with oh my God, this is going to be busy and large compared to originally what we had planned.
And you've tried to give them the heads up, I guess, because you're doing it at a Crunch Fitness, right?
Yes, we've done it at Crunch Fitness, but the parking lot is actually owned by a different company.
Okay.
So it's been trying to kind of juggle both.
Hmm.
And the inside of Crunch Fitness, there's only so much room.
Yeah.
And the manager is thinking, oh well, we're still going to be able to have an open gym day. People can still come and work out, and it's been tough to get kind of our idea across of how big this is going to be for this facility.
Yeah. It's hard to relay it to somebody that's not been to a competition, not seen one.
Yeah,
It's hard to explain to them kind of what the layout looks like or how big it could potentially be. I mean, even a small competition takes up space once you start to factor in spectators. If someone, if one athlete brings at least one person to watch them, you're kind of doubling your numbers right off the hop.
yeah, we're looking at around 300 people. We have should be over 10 booths as
Oh,
well
perfect.
at the show. And I guess one thing I want to say through this video is, a lot of shows charge like spectator fees. Because we're an open facility, we're not going to be doing that. But at the end of the day, we're trying to help the community by supporting strongest adaptive on Earth. So, in lieu of doing spectator fees, we're hoping to kind of get some donations going, do some raffles, and support them with as much money as we can.
Perfect. Excellent. Is there anything you wanted to mention about your sponsors or about the booths that are there? I have not seen, I've seen you put out the sponsors list and stuff, but I want to leave it up to you if there's any you want to mention or single out.
I want to say that we've had a massive help from Industry Canada. And honestly, like all the main sponsors of a lot of the Strongman Corp shows, Inclusive has been a massive help to us. And at the end of the day, we're doing a lot of local business stuff here. So a lot of our sponsors are local business and they all want to come out day of and do as much as they can for the event. And we want to be able to showcase all local business as well, because this is going to be the first show kind of east of Toronto. So we're trying to grow and we're trying to really show local business.
Perfect. Excellent. Okay. Well, I'm excited to get my season started. I feel about as ready as I can be, and I'm probably going to be the last person that you'll hear complain about any kind of event. I've not helped run strongman shows. I've helped run powerlifting shows. I've helped to run softball tournaments and stuff. So I'm the last guy that's going to complain about anything, because the amount of stuff that goes on behind the scene that people don't see or understand, I find it's easy to show up and just kind of start to, bitch and complain about something when it's like, okay, but A, you didn't volunteer your time, and B, there's probably a reason why something is the way it is. You can just ask if you want information, but to sit there and just kind of complain about it, not do anything or not say anything is, to me, kind of a defeatist attitude. So for what
Yeah,
it's worth, I'm
I
excited. I know I've got people
good.
coming out to watch me. I'm excited to see guys I haven't seen, since last season. Really, I saw a few of them at the weight pit, but there's a few I've not seen because they went and did the Arnold. So I'm excited to see everybody out there.
Great. I'm excited to see you guys honestly fight on this double dumbbell because I am getting such a mixed bag of people saying how easy it is and other people telling me that it's the worst event they've ever done. So
I've heard the exact same thing. I've talked to some
yeah,
guys, and it's either, oh yeah, I'm good. Like I could fly through it, get some reps on the last one. And other guys that just, they're like, if I get the first one up, I'll be happy. It's like
yeah,
there
it's been weird.
there's no real in between. I was surprised. I mean, my pressing is okay. I'm a better static lifter than I am moving. That's just been how it is. So I surprised myself at how well they moved. For me, it's just a matter of confidence because I know I can do it. But I find coming from powerlifting, where I'm a little bit more meticulous in my form, where I'm a little bit more controlled, a little bit slower, right? Bench press, squat, like it's very controlled, very tight, very together. I need to kind of do away with that when it comes to strongman, because the power
Yeah.
is there, but you have to be aggressive. You have to attack it. And that's where I start to lose myself, is it's like I'm still thinking in terms of, okay, clean, rest, press, not just go.
And for me, it's the exact opposite. For me, it is floor to ceiling immediately
Yeah,
because if I wait, I'm done. So it's
exactly.
going to be interesting to see how different people attack this event. And the hard thing is, there's no weights on this event through Corp. It has been a complete, we tried to figure out what we could, and we're a small team. So we're hoping we are completely right on all the weights for this. It seems like we are,
I
but
think so.
it has been kind of tough.
When I looked at the weights for all of the events, I kind of thought the same thing. I was like, okay, this is good. Like these are, they're not weights you would necessarily see at a provincial level event,
Yeah.
but they're hard enough that they're going to test everybody, right?
Yeah, there's kind of that 10% rule. So we
Right.
went 10% under all provincial weights,
Right, that makes sense.
and and that's kind of the rule of thumb, kind of, and then to go to nationals is another 10% up.
And
So it's
you have
kind of the
two
way we think.
events, yeah, and you have two events right from provincials in the sandbag carry to the sled drag, and then the farmers. And we had in my weight group for provincials, the farmers were 275 a hand, yours are 250, and the sandbag to the sled was, I want to say it was a was it a 270 bag, 280
I
maybe.
believe I believe you guys had the same as us. I think it was 275.
275, yeah. So then 250 for us this weekend. So again, looking at that, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Just those are the two easiest ones I can compare right from last season. Looking at this one, I go, yep, nope, that makes complete sense. And then the sled, I know you were getting a lot of flack about not having the sled weight out and stuff, but I think your message was basically just train it heavy, which is really the only way to do it, because even if you put a number out there, A, not everybody can do that number if they don't have a place with a sled with all that weights, and B, what does it matter? Just train a max sled, make it heavy, overload it, and then if it's lighter on the day of the competition, cool, you fly with it.
Yeah, so I won't lie, I've kind of came back at all the people messaging me. So I've had so many messages about this sled, and my response is going to be how heavy it's going to be the day of.
Mm-hmm.
I went out and trained it, and I went to absolute failure.
Mm-hmm.
And that weight is what I put on my class.
Perfect.
So we're going heavy with that
Mm-hmm.
because so many people have messaged me. So my answer is a bit of backlash, and it will be, you'll see.
Andrew had a sled drag at his show, Battle of the Brink. I want to say two. It wasn't last year; it was the year before, and it was the same thing. We didn't know the weight of the sled until the day of, and it didn't really matter. We just trained with a
Yep,
heavy sled because there's so many things that get factored in: the kind of ground people are pulling on, the kind of sled people are pulling, the handles, the weights that are on it. There's too many variables, honestly, for it
100%.
to really matter. Just if you have a sled to drag, load it as heavy as you can and pull it.
Exactly.
Did you get any other feedback on the events before we move on to provincials?
Honestly, the feedback's been pretty good because I kept it basic this year.
Mm-hmm.
The feedback has been quite solid.
Perfect.
Um, I guess just the double dumbbell, just because it is something you don't see. Sometimes you'll see it in the medley,
Mm-hmm.
but to have it as a ladder, it's some people are a little caught off by it. But overall, that's been kind of it. We've had some really good uh, feedback on the events, so it's been solid that way.
For what it's worth, when I saw the lineup and I saw the events, this was the one that I got the most excited about, because to me, it's my old man always says, keep it simple, stupid. And these events are, they're simple, but they're heavy, and I think and most of them are moving or for reps. So it's going to test everybody's cardiovascular system, which is
Yeah,
not good news for me, but it is what it is. But I think it's a good balance. Look, I'll be honest. I'm just happy to see the yoke being used as a yoke. That we're not pressing it, we're not deadlifting it. It's just
yeah.
it's being used as a yoke, and that warms my heart. I'm going to be honest.
Well, I'm happy because I passed out on the yoke deadlift last year, and I got hit in the face on the yoke press at Goliath Games last
Oh
year. So
yeah, I could see that
I'm also quite happy to use it as a yoke this
as
year.
intended.
Plus, it's in provincials, so it's a good little see how you're doing.
So that's a good segue, because they released the events of provincials just this past week, and we've kind of talked a little bit in private about the events. I'll get your thoughts on them first, but first I'll go over the actual list. I'm going to bring it up here because I wrote it down. Where'd I go? There we go. Somewhere. Yes. Okay. So we have, for provincial events, we have Trump Circus dumbbell. So there will be a heavy dumbbell, which will be the Rogue dumbbell, I believe they said, and then the lighter dumbbell will be loaded. Trap
Yep.
bar deadlift for reps. We'll be doing a loading medley of a keg and a nukshuk and a sandbag. We'll be doing a yoke, 50 feet by 50 feet, and then a tire flip. I think I got everything in there, right?
Yeah, that's the events.
That's it, right? Yeah.
Believe
Okay.
me,
Cool.
I've read them. I've read them 1,000 times. That
Okay, so
is the event.
I want to get your thoughts on. We'll go through each one first, so
Yep.
we're kind of try and keep it less ADHD. The first event, the Trump Circus dumbbell. So for those that don't know, that will be a light dumbbell and a heavy dumbbell, and any rep done on the heavy dumbbell will trump reps done on the lighter dumbbell. The points on the light dumbbell will obviously be worth less than the heavy one, but the heavy one will always trump the light one. So it gets into a little bit of strategy depending on
Yep.
how your pressing is and how you want to, if we're starting with that, how you're going to start the event. So your thoughts on the Trump Circus dumbbell?
So three thoughts.
Oh,
First,
just three.
I hate I hate circus dumbbell. So that's just me. I am quite new to strongman, and it's something I never trained before I started competing.
Mm,
And since competing, I've really only done it at provincials once.
right.
So I have a lot to learn in a short amount of time.
Mm,
So that is what it is. Second, it's going to be how this event is actually played out. Now, with the Trump system, if X amount of reps, on the big bell, if it gets tied, am I able to do a rep on the small one to still get more, or does it mean nothing? So that's going to be a bit of a thing for how I play it. And it also gets me because this is a huge form thing and it takes a bit of power away.
mm,
So it's something that for me is a hard one because you don't need to be the strongest in order to get very good points here.
mhm. A lot of
So
it
for me,
does
it's
come
tough.
down to the form on the press itself.
Yes.
Now you've got yourself a coach now, right?
Yes, I've been working with her for a few months now, and this will be our first actual prep together.
So it's Taylor Woods, correct?
Yes.
And Taylor is a good presser for
Yes.
her size and for what she has to compete against. She's a very good, very talented presser. So for what it's worth, I think you're in very good hands working with someone that knows a thing or two about pressing. Yeah,
I'm
exactly. Yeah.
hoping. It seems like it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I did pick up a neck injury last year,
Mhm.
and it has really messed with my right side, so as
Okay.
long as I can keep that kinda under control, we'll be good. It flared up at the weight pit, but yeah, it's gonna be a lot of technical work for me.
So for me, I the options that they put out they were going to do were the circus dumbbell, log, axle, or sandbag. The only one I didn't want to see was a sandbag. That was the only one that I was like, please, for the love of all things holy, do not make me press a sandbag. I got these tiny little arms. Pressing a sandbag is not conducive to having T-Rex arms. So
Yeah.
if I eliminated that, I was like, I'm good with any of the other ones. I didn't think it was going to be the axle because we had axle last year and we saw it a bunch.
Yeah,
And
100%.
my axle came a long way last year, which was nice. Log, I would have been happier because my log is far better than my circus dumbbell. I would have been happier with that, and I mostly because I much prefer training log than I do circus dumbbell. But
Oh,
that said,
100%.
what's that?
I said 100%,
Yeah,
but just
absolutely.
everything, I'm just circus is not my thing.
Circus is one that I always surprise myself at how quickly I can get up to a certain weight, and then it stops. If I add 5 pounds, it's a wall, right? Like I can get to like 150, maybe 155. As soon as I go above that, it's like nope, that's the end of that. And
Yeah.
we had that provincials 2024 when we had the log and dumbbell back and forth. That that dumbbell for us was 150, and that's still to this day is my PR. And it took me two goes to get it to go. Um, so
I failed. I
it's
failed
just
it.
it, it's an awkward movement. It's I don't feel particularly strong underneath it, but this is one of those things where it's like I need to come out of my comfort zone now and figure it out. Second
100%.
event, trap bar deadlift for reps. Your thoughts?
I'm gonna sound like a Debbie Downer here. I
That's
am a
okay. I'm glass half
strong
full, so it's a good balance.
I am a strong deadlifter. So to see a trap bar for me is not a disadvantage because I'm still very confident and I love trap bar.
Mm.
But when you're a really strong deadlifter, the trap bar kind of takes the deadlift out of deadlift. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, I did it my first time in competition in 2024 at provincials, and I still came, I think, top three. So I'm really happy.
Hmm.
But I am a maximal deadlift guy.
Hmm.
So trap bar for me, although it's a great event, I would love to have seen the mammoth or the max personally.
I would have preferred seeing a max event. I know why they didn't do it because to try and get through any kind of max event with any decent amount of athletes can take a while. And so I
Yes.
so I understand why they didn't do that. I'm glad it wasn't the axle. The mammoth would have been a lot of fun. I would have been okay seeing a mammoth for reps. The trap bar, I tend to look at it less as a deadlift and more as just like a leg press, because when we did the car deadlift, it was the trap bar handle setups for it, and that's really what the press was. It wasn't as much, traps and shoulders and grip. It was really just, it's all legs. It takes kind of your back out of it. It really is just how much you can press through the floor to get it off. So I was I'm okay with it because I also find it doesn't tax me near as much as a regular deadlift for reps will tax me. So I was okay to see it. Just got to wait for the weights now to know what it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. It taxes me way more, and for me, I'm a static guy.
Yeah.
So I think the year I did it, I did 17 reps. So to think, depending on the weight, depending how we do it, anything that goes over kind of the 12 rep mark, I start wondering, is it heavy enough? So I'm
Mhm.
hoping it's nice and heavy this year.
Yeah.
But I mean, Taylor loves trap bar for everything I do already, so I'm
Perfect.
I'm already ready for it.
Absolutely. Third event, the loading race, we kind of knew this is what it was going to be because they gave the three options or an all of the above. And once I saw all of the above, I was like, well, that's what we're doing. So we're loading a keg, the Inukshuk sandbag, and then a regular sandbag. I don't know if that's the order it's going to be in, but that's what we're loading. How do you feel about loading events?
Bring it.
All right,
I
perfect.
am obsessed with speed.
Hmm.
So for me, it's speed or power.
Hmm.
Anything endurance is where I fall.
Right.
So the loading events for me make it heavy. I'm super excited for this event and very confident in it. So yeah, bring on this event. I am very happy they chose it. I love loading, and for it to be for speed, this is what I want. I used to be a sprinter, so
So you're
anything
good.
speed is
Yeah,
what I like.
absolutely. I'm more confident about it this year than I have been in years past because I actually have all the implements this time. So
Same.
this is one that I can actually build myself a platform and I can train to do a proper loading race. And rather than just loading one implement all the time, which has been good in the past, but I'm very much of the mindset if that's what we have to do, that's what I'm going to train because why wouldn't I? So if I have all the implements to be able to train to do the load, then that's going to be what I want to do. It's going to be interesting to see if it's all one height, if it's different height, different distance. That'll be, I guess, where we play with it a little bit.
Yeah,
But all in all, I'm okay with it. I don't mind this as an event. I mean, it's one area I needed to improve on. So what better reason to improve on it than to have to get ready for provincials
100%.
with it. The moving event, the options at the time that we saw were frame, farmers, yoke, and sandbag, and they went with the yoke, which is perfect because I've been training yoke since January to get ready for your event. So I'm just going to keep training yoke right through to July.
Yep, exactly. I'm weird with yoke.
Hmm.
So again, I'm very fast, but like you with the circus dumbbell, there's a turning point.
Right.
As soon as I go to example 700 pounds, for some reason, my body just throws yoke right out the window.
Just says that's enough of that.
Yeah, so I sprint with like 690,
Hmm.
and then as soon as it goes to 700, it's like I can't move it. So
Hmm.
I look at nationals last year, and I was the fastest guy with this. I believe it was around 660, 675.
Hmm.
And then as soon as I put the extra 50 pounds on it, I was taking step by step. I dropped it 8 times. I didn't even finish it.
Wow, that's interesting
So
that it's such a hard cutoff at that point.
yeah, it's very weird to me. I don't know. I mean, at nationals, I was having a horrible day as it was, so I think just mentally I didn't want to be there. But yeah, it's very weird. I've done heavy yokes, but it's completely hit or miss for me. I think provincial weights though, I'll be happy and I'll be able to do some damage.
Yeah, the 660 that we have to do next weekend for your show, um, I'm getting more comfortable with. For me, yoke is all mental, and it's the same with my squat. I have a 600-pound squat, but it doesn't matter if it's 600 pounds or 400 pounds. Once I feel it on my back, my brain tells me, no, there's no way we're moving this. Like, we're not doing it. We're not
Yeah.
squatting this. We're not carrying this. You're out of your mind. And then I start moving with it, and it's like, oh no, we can do this. Okay, perfect. So it's just, for me, it's all mental. Once I feel it on my back, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about this. So if I just turn that little voice off in my head and just, again, this is where I said before, power and just I have to attack it, and I
Yeah.
should be okay. So again, it'll be interesting to see what the what the weights are. The 50 by 50 makes complete sense because we typically do these in arenas, so there's only so much room anyways. I think it was 2024 we had the yoke. I want to say it was for max distance that year.
2024.
Yeah, and
It was 100 foot for provincials.
it
It
was
was
100
just a
foot. Okay, so straight
straight
100 feet.
100.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
that was my second show ever, and I remember I did top five, but I dropped it 6 times. So that shows just there my speed is there,
Yeah.
but I dropped it 6 times.
Yeah, that was one
So yeah,
I didn't think I made it very I didn't make it very far. I made it like 30 feet. But I hadn't really trained yoke at that point because I had just bought one that summer, so I didn't really have a chance to get comfortable with it. So I'm excited to I mean, this is the best case scenario for me because I've been training it for your show. Just keep training it right through. That gives me about 7 months worth of yoke training to get in, that if
yeah.
I'm not comfortable with it by provincials, then that's on me. It's not because of a lack of preparation.
Well, see, and that's the thing with me. I won't lie. I'm one of the laziest competitors you'll ever see. So last year going into nationals, I don't like bringing my yoke outside.
Mm,
I train out of my home gym. I don't like bringing my yoke out. And I think now having a coach, I'll be able to actually kind of be forced to do all this stuff
yeah,
and hopefully get some better results than years past.
absolutely. The final. Oh no, that was it, right? One, two, three, four.
Tire flip.
Oh, that's right. The moving event. Yes, tire
Yeah,
flip. It was either tire flip, moving medley, sandbag toss, or the joke was the 1 liter milk jug, which I would have killed. I'm
same.
Got to be honest. I'm glad it's not a sandbag toss. I am so sick of throwing sandbags. I'm not good at them. This is me being completely biased. This is just, it's because I suck at it. I don't want to see it because I'm not good at it. There's other events I like doing that I'm not good at, that I'm okay to compete with. That is not one of them.
So last year with the throwing, the one arm throwing, which
Oh,
I'm not the biggest fan of the event. It is what it is. But last year I got the bag over the bar 8 times, but I only actually cleared it with the right trajectory once.
oh, come on.
So I lost so many points.
Yeah,
I think I lost a spot. Like I was third last year. I think I lost my second place at that event.
yeah.
So I'm happy to not see throwing this year,
Hmm.
but I don't have a tire.
Oh,
So
okay.
I need to find a tire. We did a 800-pound tire at Goliath Games 2 years ago, so I'm gonna track that person down and see if I can find one.
Yeah, see, that was I just assumed that that was your tire. That's what I get for assuming things.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I'm very kind of DIY. I don't have anything. So to get a tire, I don't have any place for it. I yeah, it's gonna be tough.
You're gonna be that guy trying to flip a tire down your just down your subdivision street.
Yep. I've already figured out where I'm gonna put it in the backyard and roll it out.
Perfect. I Tire flip is one I like because it's an old school strongman event, right? Like it used to be super popular. You don't see it as much anymore. This is the opposite. I'm not good at sandbag tosses and I don't want to do sandbag tosses. I'm not built to do tire flips, but I love trying to do tire flips because I've said this in my other videos that strongman also needs to be a spectacle to people watching.
100%.
And doing a bunch of reps on a trap bar deadlift is like, it's hard for people to grasp watching it, like what that feels like. Watching us deadlift a car, they're like, oh, wow, that's impressive. Even if you can do 12 reps on it, they don't know. They don't care. They see you deadlifting a car and they're like, holy smokes, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Same with the tire flip. You don't need to know how much it weighs to know that sucks. That's a big tire, right?
Yeah. So I'm waiting to see what we got. So I've done tire flip twice first year I did it in the pouring rain,
Oh,
so
good.
it did not go well for me. And then I did it at Goliath Games where it went well, but we had a Stone of Steel run
Mm,
into a tire flip.
that's right. Yeah.
So it was kind of its own event. It was weird, and it was kind of hard now to that was 2 years ago, base any knowledge of a tire flip on that. So, we're gonna see how it goes. I am worried about the biceps, but we're gonna see what we can do.
That's typically the one that I think most people get worried about with the tire flip is how your biceps are going to handle that initial clean, right, off the ground to your lap,
Yeah.
and then the transition into the press. You almost have to break it down into three movements: a clean off the floor, and then a kind of push press, and then power through to get it to go.
Yeah.
I think they said for this one it's there and back for reps.
See, I'm trying to figure out if that's back and forth or if that is going to be
Oh, see,
kind of a course.
that
I'm
I
trying to
didn't,
figure
I
that
didn't
out.
even think of that. That if it's, yeah, I didn't. I'm hoping it's not back and forth. I would rather just stay on one side and keep
Just
moving
keep
with it.
going.
I hadn't thought of the other way where it's flip it, go around, and flip it back the
I
other
don't
way.
think it will be. I look into all these things and I go hard into what it might be. I'm
Yeah.
quite, I overanalyze everything.
No, but
So it
that's,
just is what it is.
but you know, that's one of those things where it's almost, I mean, it can be detrimental, sure, if you overthink it, but if you're preparing yourself for any situation, right? Then when they do drop the rules, you're kind of like, oh, I'd already thought of that. This is now the direction we're going in.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? This is me just kind of putting it out there, but you know, shows always talk about like injury risk. If we're seeing a tire flip, I think we should be seeing a squat. That's just me putting that out there into corp world. I want to see strongman squats because I know we're all worried about injury, but if we're willing to do tire flip, we should be willing to do some squatting.
Well, look, last year, weight pit, we had the car squat, and I
Yeah,
finished second on it. So I'm partial to that. I would love to see that. I mean, I know it's not
yeah.
one that everybody can train to squat a car, and not everybody has that setup that they had, but there's got to be something that we can do to get it out there.
Yeah, I'd like to see just like an axle bar squat with kind of the big ends on
Yep.
it. Something
Yep.
like yeah, like what we use for partial deadlifts and that in competition. I'd
For
love
sure.
to see that because squat is my baby, and
Mm.
I'm not in powerlifting, so I really want something big. Yeah, it's one of those things where I've overtrained it to the point where I'm way too good at it for not needing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the upside to having a great squat is like you use all those muscles and a bunch of that same movement in a lot of these events anyways. So it's not like having a good squat is going to hurt you in
Yeah.
strongman, but it would be nice to put it to a proper use in an event. So that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, my goal before I actually started competing, I never thought I was going to compete in strongman, was I want to go to, I think it was 2017 Worlds and not zero the squat in the actual like the open world championship division of World's Strongest Man.
Hmm.
Once I achieved that, I was happy with being done, and then I got into competing.
Perfect. See, that's that. And now here we are.
Exactly, and I won't lie though, that took a lot out of me. I suited, I've squatted 730 and up, and then unsuited, I've squatted just below 7. So
Perfect.
it is my baby. I want to see it
Absolutely.
in comp.
All right, Sean. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk to me. My first official interview on this channel. So you've broken that seal, my friend. That you were the first one that I got to sit down and talk about or talk to, and kill two birds with one stone. Really, with the show coming up a week from now as I'm recording, and then provincials, which I'm sure we'll talk about at some point between now and then as well.
100%. And thanks for having me. You know, everybody who watches this, good luck in the shows coming up. I will be at most of them.
Perfect. All right, Sean. Thanks a lot.
Have a good one, man. Thank you.